You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners.
You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show, Spirit 1340 WYCB, the oldest gospel radio station and the first contemporary gospel outlet in the United States. Today is Friday, May 10th. It's Mother's Day weekend, and we are excited to have Dr. Julianne Malvo as our guest today, as she is every week, to talk about politics. And then our second half, we're going to have a special guest. Her name is Desiree Rogers. She is the co-CEO of Fashion Fair Cosmetics and Black Opal Beauty Products. You all know Fashion Fair has been around for 50 years and Black Opal has been around for 30 years. So she's going to be talking to you about some Mother's Day specials. So let's go to Dr. Julianne Malvo. She is a nationally known economist, former dean. She's been one of two president emeritus at Bennett College, and she has her PhD in economics, a world traveler, speaker, president of Push Excel. Dr. Julianne, talk to us today about politics.
Oh, there's so much to talk about, Lyndia. I'm going to start with the great news of Vice President Kamala Harris on her economic empowerment tour. She started in Atlanta, and this Monday, she was in Detroit. And she was talking about all the things that the Biden-Harris administration has done to help the Black economic situation. I only have a small criticism, which is that it's focused on entrepreneurs. And as you know, everybody is not an entrepreneur. Many people are workers, and so it kind of leaves them out. But it's good to see her, especially her, stepping out in this realm. She's very, very good. You have all these detractors talking about what she doesn't do well, but the fact of the matter is she does a darn good job at this work. So we just have to lift her up. She talked about the fact that the administration is going to put $100 million into auto supply companies, many of whom are owned by African Americans. She talked about the number of businesses we lost during COVID. About 40% of all Black-owned businesses were lost during COVID. She was absolutely splendid. And again, this is how she needs to be used. People always say they don't know her. Well, it's up to Brother Biden to put her out there more. Because I think when you hear her, you really get the news. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she's going to be hitting several other cities to talk about what the Biden administration has done on economic empowerment. I think that's really important. Now, my second piece of news is President Biden. On Tuesday, he gave a talk about anti-Semitism. He was very firm about anti-Semitism. He doesn't like it. Who does? I had two thoughts. If you're anti-Israel, it does not mean they're anti-Semitic. If you're critical of Israel, that does not mean that you're anti-Semitic. So he kind of framed them as the same thing. He also talked about the Jewish students on many campuses and what they're going through. And when I thought about that, I thought about the Black students on so many campuses who've gone through some of the same things. I'm not saying we're having a pity party, but I'm just saying I've never seen anybody come down that hard on the racism the Black students experience. I'm glad that he made the comment, but I think he was partially right, partially wrong. Of course, he's straddling. He's running for re-election. This is a speech that needed to be made, but he needs to contextualize anti-Semitism because, again, criticizing Israel is not anti-Semitism. Now, I don't know where to go. I got four big things and not a lot of time. Maybe I'll go to Maryland and talk about Sister Marilyn Mosby. She is the young lady who was the youngest state attorney, youngest city attorney when she was elected, and I believe it was 2015. No, it was 2013. Anyway, she basically angered police officers when she went after the six who basically killed Freddie Gray. They gave him what you call a rough ride. And the rough ride was so rough that when he got to the hospital, his spinal cord had been severed. He died 3 days after he was hospitalized, and she brought charges against the 6 police officers. They were acquitted, and the federal government declined to prosecute, which they often do in these kinds of cases. She has been indicted for what we could just call BS. She lied on a mortgage application. Now that the statute of limitations is over, I can tell you that I lied on mine too. Many of us in trying to get the finances together to get a mortgage, you might not lie, but you fudge the truth. In any case, they've gone after her with big feet. She faces 40 years of incarceration, which is absurd. 2 sisters, Angela Rye and Faye Williams, have surrounded her. And I just want people to know about that, to Google her, to go on and sign the petition. They're asking President Biden to pardon her. The sentencing will be held, I believe, May 23rd. And so there's time for people to get involved in this. Now, let me move on to the state of Maryland and to talk about the Francis Scott Key Bridge, the bridge that the ship ran into, and everybody is facing reverberations from that. They did find a 6th body, finally, and that's a blessing. Jose Minor Lopez was found, and that's a really great thing. 6 people killed because of the carelessness of this organization. More interestingly, also, there's a big debate about whether this bridge should be renamed. Let's not forget that Francis Scott Key was a slaveholder.
I heard about it.
I
heard about it.
Yeah, the 3rd stanza of the Star-Spangled Banner talks about slaves. So a lot of people are saying, let's change this. We don't need, just like we're taking down statues, let's take this name off it. Some people would like it to be named after Perrin Mitchell, the deceased congressman who was such an advocate for minority business. Some would like it to be named after him. There are other names that have been raised, but the bottom line is we have an opportunity, as someone said, to basically look to the future as opposed to the past. Now, if I have just one more second, I will talk about the Orange Man, not much. As President Biden said at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, he got some stormy weather ahead. On Tuesday, he had to look in the face of the woman who I guess gave some very salacious details. I mean, all she had to say was a few things about that money she got, but she chose to, in detail, talk about spanking him with a magazine. And, the judge even said, this has just gone too far. His attorneys, the Orange Man's attorneys, have said they want a mistrial because there were too many details. But we don't know. But the fact, this is funny. But I think that, he also on Monday had his 10th contempt citation, $10,000. So this, 9,000, now it's 10,000. $1,000 doesn't mean much to him, but it's interesting. The judge told him if he kept it up, he was going to jail. Now, I think he wants to go to jail. Think about it.
I do too.
A president of the United States incarcerated, the Secret Service has to go with him. Drama, drama, drama. I say think creatively. Take his electronic devices away from him. Punish him in a way that does not create a spectacle. What if he couldn't tweet? That would probably be more punishment for him than going to jail. But in any case, this thing is boiling over. Now, the last thing about the Orange Man, in Florida, where he refused to return the classified documents, the judge has postponed the case until next year. Now, this is a judge who he appointed, and she has been shilly-shallying all these months. Some say she just doesn't know what she's doing. I agree with that. But it's a little bit more than that. In addition to not knowing what she's doing, she is benefiting him by taking her time with this. So we still have 2 other cases. We have the New York City case, and we have, there are 2 cases in New York, but New York and Georgia with Fannie Willis.
Georgia.
But this Florida case has been indefinitely postponed. And that, this is what he's benefiting from. He stacked the Supreme Court, and he stacked the appellate court, and so he's getting away with this. It really is unfortunate, but at the end of the day, what's likely to happen is this like to be a tie, if you will.
I think that's the time, Juliana. Don't you think that's 8 minutes?
I think that's about right. So, Lindy, like I said, lots of news, lots of news, lots of news. Thank you always for the opportunity to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
We will talk again.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good evening. We're
You
going to go
too.
to a commercial break, and we'll be back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington Informer religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at washingtoninformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it. Be inspired.
Good evening, Radio 1 listeners. We thank you for tuning in to our second half. I've been promoting it all week, all over Facebook. We are talking to Desiree Rogers. She is the former social secretary for the first African-American social secretary for the United States White House. She was working for President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. I'd like to tell about that part, including the coordination of state dinners and other social events. On August the 10th, I took part of this, just a small introduction from her History Makers bio. Desiree Rogers was appointed CEO of Johnson Publishing Company, overseeing publication of Ebony and Jet magazines. She has been included in Crane's Top 25 Women to Watch and 40 Under 40 Business Leaders. Black Enterprise magazine has included her in the top 50 most powerful African-American businesswomen and the top 75 most powerful blacks in corporate America. How are you today, Desiree? I'm so glad that you could be on with me.
I am so happy to be on with you. I'm doing just great.
Especially this Mother's Day weekend. It was a dream I had when I met you at the Black Women Lead Conference in Washington, D.C. at the Conrad Hotel earlier in April. And God woke me up in the middle of the night. You probably might have noticed I sent it 1-something in the morning. It was, I try to listen. I'm sure you do too, being an entrepreneur. When you get these good ideas, you have to deal with it. I was hoping it didn't bother you or disturb you. But I got the idea to see if I could have you on for Mother's Day because you are the co-CEO Fashion Fair and Black. What is the name of the second one?
It's Black Opal.
Black Opal. Yes. And so I wanted to make sure, because there's so many people that love both. I have never bought Black Opal, but I intend to. I've been a Fashion Fair girl. So,
well, you know what? We're gonna take that. We're happy with that.
I know that's right. So what I want you to do is talk just a little bit, because we only have like 15 minutes. But talk to us a little bit about how excited you are to be one of the co-owners, and what the status of both products are.
Sure. So, first of all, thank you again for having me. I'm so excited to talk about these great cosmetics companies. I mean, as I think about the beauty space, as Black women, we spend so much money on cosmetics and beautification, and I think what's really important overall is that we support makeup companies that have supported us, maybe even when it wasn't so popular. And so when I think about Fashion Fair, which has been in the business for 50 years, and Black Opal 30 years, they're very different brands. So let me tell you a little bit about them. So number one is, I believe we're building on our history, and it's important that we have companies, and in particular beauty companies, that are directed towards us. What does that mean? That means ingredients that mean something to our skin. You know, we worked with a Black dermatologist on both of these lines, and so I stand here before you very convinced that they are the best products on the market for some of the issues that we face, like oiliness on our skin, the fading of spots, hyperpigmentation, large pores. All of these are things that, are important to deeper skin tones. And so we really pride ourselves on being the best in the marketplace for our colors. And the other big thing, from both brands is just the shade matching. Sometimes, you go in the store, there's 40 different shades, but you still can't find one that matches you perfectly. And that's because companies neglect to really focus on all the undertones that we have. They can be red, they can be neutral, they can be olive, they can be yellow. And I often say, a lighter skinned Black girl, I hate it when, they make her orange, or a darker skinned woman, looks ashy. So none of our products look that way. And Fashion Fair is now sold in select Sephora's and Macy's doors, and Black Opal is sold in select Walmart's and CVS doors, and a few Ulta doors. And so we're excited to be able to bring both of these brands to market in an exciting, new, reformulated way.
Okay, so tell people how they can find out if it's in their area, by maybe going to your website or checking their zip code.
Sure. So the easiest way to find out where we are located near you, so you can experience the brand for yourself, is fashionfair.com. And right at the top, you'll see the word stores. You click on stores, and then you're able to put in your zip code, and you will see all of the stores, both Macy's and Sephora's, that are close to you, that you are able to decide where you want to go to experience the brand.
And what about Walmart and some CVS? How would they find those?
Yes, so that you would go right to the Black Opal website, which is blackopalbeauty.com. And it's the same thing. You go to stores and you put in your zip code, and you will see that, where the closest store is to you. Now, Black Opal is a line, it's called Mastige. Every product on Black Opal is under $20. So it's a great brand, economical, very high quality, and it also has a skincare line. We just launched an amazing blush in that line. So that, if you go to Black Opal Beauty, it's right at the top of the page, that amazing blush for our skin tones, in a nice peach, kind of a berry, and a pink, which is so stunning for the spring. And then Fashion Fair, we just launched these amazing concealers We all have a few little imperfections that we want to hide, maybe a dark circle, maybe a little dark spot here or there. And so I would really recommend the new concealers. I am sold. I am using mine every day and loving it, just loving it. I just came back from a wedding, and I had so many compliments, and I know it was all about that concealer.
I know it was, but you look good. I've been out there looking and searching to make sure I knew who I was talking to. And I want you to know, Desiree, when I was at the conference, remember I walked up there and I was the first person you talked to when you came off the stage. I was not, I was doing something, and I was interrupted when they introduced you. I did not know you were a CEO, and I kept looking, trying to find out your background with Essence. I thought you were with Essence.
Ebony.
I didn't know. I just knew I wanted to talk to you. So I walked up to the stage and started talking to you. And I didn't know who I was talking to until after your assistant had already gotten back to me. And I started looking you up. And I got so excited, I couldn't believe I was talking to the co-CEO. I said, girl, you're a bold soul sister. You ran up there. See, that was God. That was a God wink.
You know what? You were the angel that came my way, honey.
Yes.
You were the angel, and you are spreading the word. And this is good word because, listen, we as Black women have the power to really make a substantial difference in this country, whether it is, our ownership position of companies in the beauty space, and then directionally, where that money is going to go. And so, as we think about Fashion Fair, we now have the Fashion Fair Spelman Scholarship. When we think about Black Opal, we are showing young girls, that may not be able to afford a lot, how to take care of their skin. And so for us, it's just so important that we give back. And the more, that the money that the company takes in, the more people we can hire, the more internships we can have, and the more support we can be to our own communities. And that's why I feel so strongly about this. And secondly, I know that I can vouch for the ingredients and the development of these products that are done for us, and that we're taking the time and energy to find the best quality products out there for us with the best people out there. And like I said, we have got a history, combined with the two companies of over 80 years.
Tell us about an event that you're going to be at Macy's in Washington, D.C., June 8th. I want to come down and promote that.
More to come, but working on an event in Washington, D.C. on June 8th. I will be there. We will be doing shade matching, concealer matching, all over talking about beauty and what's great, and making certain that all of our ladies look even more fabulous than they already look.
Good. I love that. So we're gonna
so that'll be in the Macy's downtown. So I'll give you that information, but we're looking at the afternoon of June 8th.
And I will see if I can put that on the end of my show every week leading up to it. I'll use that as part of my close. Well, amazing. we don't have but a few more minutes, but give us your best clothes and why you want people to come out and support you. I heard you at the conference, so I know you can talk.
But listen, it is not about me necessarily. It is really about us maintaining our history. Fashion Fair was created for us almost more than 50 years ago, and Cheryl McKissick and I were lucky enough, and I won't say luck, we bid on the company, and we were able to purchase it. And so I just think it is so important for us to support and to continue our history. And so that is what I'm really interested in, is that we create and we support this company that really is for us, was created for us, and it's ours. So it really is the community's makeup companies, not Desiree Rogers' makeup companies. And so we've got to make certain that we continue to support what's ours.
And talk a little bit about the founder of Fashion Fair, Eunice Johnson.
Sure, Eunice Johnson was the founder of Fashion Fair. She and her husband created Ebony and Jet magazines, and she created this brand. She went to all of the big houses, and none of them were interested in making a brand for darker skin tones. So she took it upon herself, and she said, well, you know what? I'm going to do it myself and enter Fashion Fair. And so it really is a salute to all Black women in our tenacity, our ability to get things done, our, support of one another. And I'm just happy and humbled to be at the helm of this amazing company that was created about 51 years ago. And so I'm excited. I'm excited to continue to bring new products forward. I'm excited to meet everyone as I tour the country over the next few months. And I'm excited to get the product in the hands of everyone that I meet, because you will see how amazing these products are. And we've done a lot of retooling of the products, and so they are natural ingredients. Many of them are vegan. They're cruelty-free, and they're overall just good for the skin. And so you're not going to only be beautiful, you're going to do a good thing for yourself. And, we can all use that, particularly coming on Mother's Day. We can use that. So, take a look at blackopalbeauty.com. We've got a special for Mother's Day with the blushes and lip glosses. And then always also check out Fashion Fair. So stay on those .coms to see what promotions and specials might be coming your way. And we also on Fashion Fair have a club where you get discounts, etc. So don't forget to sign up for that, the rewards program, when you go online, so that you can be the first to know what's happening.
And my last question is, can they order product online or only in stores? Okay.
Yes, they can. They can definitely order product right there online. They can sign up for the rewards program so that your first product, you start getting your points. On your birthday, you're going to get points. And so we all like points because we all like to get something for free, honey.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I would encourage people to take a look at the website and see all of the new products.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I am so thankful to have you on today. I am getting the word out. I will be sending the show out after we have it run on the air. We're going to also promote it. We always put a copy of our show out there, and we send it all over the place. And I have a lot of listeners, and my show is very popular. I've been on now. In June will be our 14th year. So we are excited.
What? I am excited for you too.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for reaching out and getting me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, because we are the largest contemporary gospel station in the country. All of the major churches. When I'm at meetings, people tell me that Dr. Julianne Malvo, you probably know her.
Yeah.
She just told me in a conversation that there's some members at her church that listen to Lyndia. They said, we listen to Lyndia. And they've been listening for years. And I was so thrilled. So I just thank and praise God. And so all I want to do is help somebody else along the way. So my living will not be in
that's
vain.
Right. That is so beautiful, because so many people, aren't doing everything they can. And we really do have to help one another. The world is tough right now.
I didn't get a chance to finish my column because my girlfriend wanted me to create this flyer. She said, just you and Desiree, because I got to send it to everybody because people don't know. I didn't know. She said my daughter knew, but I didn't. I did not know. And she has a whole line of stuff that she loves. So she was excited, and she's sending it. I hope it's in North Carolina because she's sending it to the South. And you in North Carolina stores yet?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Good.
We're nationwide. We're nationwide. Again, go in there, put your zip code in, and it's going to give you the stores closest to you.
Okay. So I spent at least an hour getting that flyer redesigned just so she could send it out, and I send it out, and going to keep sending it out separately.
Appreciate you guys. Really do.
All right. Well, thank you, Desiree, and I'll be talking to you some more about my Gamma Phi Delta Foundation. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Well, happy Sunday, and thanks for reaching out.
All right. Thank you, and bye. Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect, so be careful what you send out. because we do become what we think about. And Scripture says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So think on these things. From the Lyndia Grant Show, I'm your host, Lyndia Grant. Until next week, good day.
Thank you for listening to the Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.